Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, April 29th, 2014. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. The Family and Gender Affairs Division says it is determined to save this generation and the succeeding generations from the scourge of crime and violence. Speaking at the 2014 launch of Child's Month observed yearly in May, Head of the Family and Gender Affairs Division, Polly Oliver, said the division is seeking to address the prevalence of crime and violence here and that an all-hands-on-deck approach is needed.
Just to declare a month of activities, but to reaffirm our commitment to the fundamental human rights that underline citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We do so not in ourselves. And if we are to achieve zero tolerance for crime and violence, we cannot make it on our own. The Ministry of Education cannot make it on their own. We need the help of Almighty God.
Oliver added that children must not be scared of saying no to social ills plaguing the Vincentian society.
Indecent assault, sexual intercourse, rape, and many more, you know them. And we are saying that we need you, the boys and girls, to stand firm in your belief and to say no to crime and violence.
Meanwhile, Oliver said she is of the opinion that not many persons are aware of the dangers of being intolerant. She said this can play a major role in crime and violence.
UNESCO International Day for Tolerance Observation, which was declared in 1995. And I've often said that many of the crimes and violence that we have in our communities today is because our tolerance level has gone to zero. So your theme is quite fitting for the activities that are going to inform the month of May.
Child Month 2014 received its official declaration of commencement by the Ministry of Education earlier today. The month is celebrated under the theme Tolerance Today for a Violence-Free World Tomorrow. And according to Senior Education Officer of Early Childhood Care and Education, Gwyneth Cambridge, it looks at children in an even greater light. Cambridge said persons need to recognize the impacts of the growing trend of violence here on the young minds.
We are ever so mindful. I think by now everybody knows that there is a frightening trend of violence within St. Vincent. And the thing is, it doesn't only affect adults, but our children are affected. And again, as I always do, every Child Month, say to you that children encompasses 0 to 18.
Senior Education Officer for Primary Schools, Joycelyn Blake Brown, declared the month and its activities opened and wished stakeholders a productive month.
Our teachers and our students, those present and perhaps those who are listening, I would just like to encourage you to please become active participants. As the slogan says, let peace begin with me. Students, you're not too small. On behalf of the Ministry of Education, it gives me great pleasure to declare Child Month 2014 officially open.
Bananas exported from St. Vincent and the Grenadines to the UK market have been put on hold. This was stated to SVG-TV News by Chief Agricultural Officer Leslie Grant when asked to give an update on bananas being shipped to the UK. In 2011, communications consultant in the office of the Prime Minister, Elson Crick, was quoted by an online media site as stating that there was an issue with the banana quality and as such exports were suspended to the UK market. Minister of Agriculture Sabota Caesar told SVG-TV News that for 2014, SVG has been focusing on the regional markets and is expected to return to the extra-regional markets later this year. Meanwhile, despite the issue of the pink mealybug preventing a shipment of bananas from entering the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago last week, Chief Agricultural Officer Leslie Grant said authorities there are pleased with the root crop production from SVG. Grant admitted that at first some problems were recorded with the soiling of produce. However, that issue was rectified.
They're very, very, very pleased with the conditions under which the root crop is arriving in Trinidad. They are very, very happy with it. So you don't have to let over one hurdle, somebody comes in now and expect you to control when they are the ones who have to take on the responsibility. We are there to manage the system, but we can't police everything.
Climate change is on the increase, and with it will be more pests and diseases. That's a caution given by Chief Agricultural Officer Leslie Grant. Grant told SVG-TV News that climate change does not only affect weather patterns.
It also creates conditions where we're seeing increased pests entering. And when I say pests, I mean insects and also disease. Not only in St. Vincent, worldwide. And that is basically an issue that is being debated in the agricultural sector and other sectors, climate change.
Grant said that while there are natural elements of harm to this country, man-made ones such as the importation of certain commodities can also pose a threat.
To appeal to the general public that they must not bring in any new species product into St. Vincent. The quarantine officers are aware and alert to this fact. This is just basically a warning.
Minister of Social Development Frederick Stevenson is representing St. Vincent and the Grenadines at a high-level forum to take place in New York. The two-day Partnerships for Financial Inclusion event, which began earlier today, is being represented by ministers of social development, leaders of international corporations, and high-level officials from the financial services sector and key foundations. The delegates are expected to discuss the way forward for partnerships on financial inclusion in the region. The forum is organized by the Organization of American States, Inter-American Social Protection Network, a cooperation mechanism established by OAS member states in 2009 for the exchange of information on successful experiences and knowledge on social protection in the Americas. One of the key objectives of this conference is to share U.S. and LAC countries' experiences and lessons learned on financial inclusion and asset building programming. The first ever National Occupational Safety and Health Conference was officially launched today by the St. Vincent Electricity Services Limited, VINLEC. The two-day conference will be held on May 15th and 16th, 2014. At a news briefing today, Chief Executive Officer at VINLEC, Tony Myers, said occupational safety and health is about the wide range of activities in most workplaces that can affect the health, welfare, and well-being of employees.
Every individual who works at VINLEC is a son, a daughter, a husband, a wife, or someone out there. And when they leave home, they're expected to return, not be a casualty of the workplace. And casualty here means stretching from the limit of fatality right down to the minimal point of an injury, and as small as that maybe to the finger. And sometimes we see injury as being very a visible activity, but we have persons here who sit for many hours, and if the chair that they sit on isn't comfortable, if the air in the building is not fresh, is not healthy, then all these are the areas that we as an organization consider our responsibility to provide for our workers.
Myers said it is the responsibility of every company to take the safety of all employees seriously.
Normal day-to-day activities of most organizations, sitting in an office, driving a vehicle, we involve in the generation, production, transmission, and distribution of electricity. And electricity, by its very nature, carries its hazards with it. So over the years, we've had what we call an annual safety week. And we celebrated an annual safety week for many years. About 4 years ago, we decided perhaps we should heighten our activities with respect to the week. And for the past, this is the 4th year, we're having now our annual safety month.
And according to Myers, safety should not just be considered a one-day activity, but an all-year-round priority.
Anything that we can do as an organization to engender that sense of awareness, we ought to do it. And while we are concentrating, we are saying our safety month, for us, safety is an everyday activity at Vinlec.
More communities have been placed on the water rationing list by the Central Water and Sewerage Authority. The measure was implemented by the CWSA on Monday, which indicated that 3 of its main water systems are getting below the 50% mark with the continued lack of rainfall. The following areas added to the water rationing list where the water supply will be disrupted between the hours 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. until further notice are Cemetery Hill, Edinburgh area, New Montrose, Old Montrose, Lodge Village, Sion Hill, Marlow Village, Top Frenches, Roseau, Penistone, Dubois, Vermont, Rolling Hill, Pembroke, Chauncey, and Clare Valley. The CWSA also stated that until further notice, several other communities will have water disruptions from 8:30 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. They include Gome, Ribishi, Cane Hall, Queens Drive, Dorsetshire Hill, Richmond Hill, Trigger Ridge, Paulover, and Miller Gate. The water rationing started yesterday by the CWSA in the communities of Collins, Freeland, Farm, Caruth, and Evesham.